player. Envy is also going to have to make the trek across if they so choose. They could play the edge there as well, but everyone is, including Space Station, is going to have to come out of their holes and move into this very open field.
Well, the raid boss has kind of been taken down. Cloud9's already got themselves their 2 wins. Goes out early because, again, they're kind of playing for fun on this one. So really, it's going to be about how Envy and Ghost choose to interact inside this because they could have some good shots. But look at this. Sonics doesn't want to be forgotten about. They step forward, get the down and flush onto one of them. But it's going to be Kendo just holding this angle. He knows that he's got Tony V right next to him.
He's also got support coming in behind. And that's going to be kind of a press here. It looks like Tony V is going to run away from the barrage of nades coming his way. Sonics trying their best, but I think they have a third party coming up from behind as well.
Landoon's trying to get the grenades out. Nobody really stepping up forward on this. That's what right now Kendo is waiting for. Patron goes down in the grenades. Kendo looks away at the wrong moment. Buzz does manage to get the down onto one of them, but draws a lot of attention. Now just playing around the barrels. He's a real thorn in the side. If he can get another down onto this, but no. So it's going to be Tony V still walking forward towards the rest of Zenith.
Roth the only one up now for the boys from Zenith. Can they stay alive a little bit longer? Both of those, he's going to go for the res here on Patron. Hopefully be able to get it up, but Sonic's pushing this aggressively.
Inside the smokes right now, Roth steps up, but it's going to be Tony V that just hits a beautiful spray to take down Zenith.
Well played by Sonics. This is a fight that was taking forever to play out, and now they got Space Station coming in behind him.
Heffa looks like he's becoming friends with Pat Caps. They're just going to hang out next to each other.
Well, I mean, I think Heffa wasn't able to get the res. I don't know what happened there, but for Sonics, that's some much-needed points. Space Station Gaming actually already has 3 points coming out of Leonis, and now they see the bodies, they see the boxes, and they're looking for a little bit more information. Going to hear some footsteps pretty soon if they keep running next to each other. Wildcard and Simplicity getting into it as well.
Tamai already down on the outside of this extreme, having to get into a little bit of a skirmish, but you can see Wooly just steps up, and Wildcard gets eliminated there. So with this, now a lot of control moving over to Simplicity in the north.
This is looking good. I mean, Simplicity cleared out the area, coming back to Space Station Gaming. They're full force, and there's a wide peak, and Win is going to go down. Landoon running in to go for the flush, and there he goes. Another spray, and did he not get it?
Look at that. You can see Sonics, they got 1 man alive. It's going to be Tony V. Space Station Gaming still has 2. Smurf with 10 Fs. Vexel on the other side of this. Win slowly bleeding out over here, so they're going to try to make their way over for the res. Keep in mind, both these teams still need to move just a little bit forward, so Tony's going to step forward. Looks like he might be trying to go for a res over onto Landoon, but Vexel's trying to get the spray back over onto it, and there you go. Space Station Gaming fighting their way inside the circle.
A lot of pressure put on Vexel right there, but he absolutely delivered, making sure that he covered for his team while the res was going off. He got taken very low, but that was not going to be enough as Space Station only loses 1 in this fight, but they have the entirety of the Southwest themselves.
Well, it's going to be still a pretty rough run for Space Station Gaming. They're going to have to come out. Vicious Gaming is down there. They've got a good foothold in the zone. Player One Esports will have a line that way. And Lynxie's got the AWM handy. He's got a couple of kills already, 3, leading his team with a total of 5.
Here we go. Ghost Circle.
I mean, this is what they were wanting. Got denied the victory inside that last round, but they do have a control point that they can play around. Keep in mind, Elevate is also a live Lego. Your Ego's going to have to figure out how they want to play this, but really Ghost can monitor the terrain. There's a couple of little hills inside of here, but there's also a valley that a lot of people are going to have to play around. So terrain is going to be a high commodity inside this next circle.
Absolutely. I mean, we were talking about Poro. It was, what, 8 kills for 8th place right now. Space Station Gaming already has 7 total points, not to mention they're getting into the placements now. So for Simplicity, if they want to stay active and stay on that leaderboard themselves, it's going to have to be a full effort here from their squad.
It's going to be really hard for Simplicity, though. You can see Elevate right on top of them. They're trying to make their way in from the north side, but Ghost from range kind of dictating this whole fight as well.
So Elevate, Simplicity, trying to figure out how they're wanting to make their way inside the circle. Lego Your Ego is inside the safe zone, but look, it's going to come down to Space Station Gaming. Throwing the grenade through could be an interesting sign of it. So with this, that's starting to get closer and closer. Vexel hasn't had a chance to really get any meds. Oh, that could roll right up onto him, and yes, Space Station Gaming eliminated in 9th place.
That was going to be a tough run for them regardless. Coming out of the southeast, they ran right into Player One Esports. The circle forced them that way, and Space Station Gaming does pick up a lot of kills there, moving into Simplicity and Ghost Gaming. They're going to go right at each other. Check Shooter jumping out, looking for some information. Ghost has great terrain to work with.
Simplicity sitting on 5 kills, a very brave push right into the center of the circle, pretty close to the center of the circle. Lynxie was their cover man. He was their Overwatch position, but now he's in a world of hurt as 3 different squads are looking back towards him. Simplicity's got to provide some form of cover, or he might just pop up at some given point. But look, Elevate in a lot of trouble on the outside of the circle.
Simplicity crashing that. They know Elevate had to make their way, had a long way to go. They got in a better position, and now they're completely just destroying them from range.
It's going to be Simplicity and Ghost. Getting these high ground spots, really just going to dictate how everybody else has to move at the time.
Lynxie's been left behind. He's got the AWM in tow. I'm not sure what the game plan is for Simplicity right now. Most of their squad's together, but Lynxie just got separated somehow. And now for Ghost, they've got eyes on Elevate, who's in the open. They used a lot of utility on the edge of the zone already, and they're going to start picking them apart. Tickleton goes down in the back. McCoy's got the SLR going for the flush.
Ghost has been taking a lot of shots at the time, but that's only going to end up being their second kill. Simplicity also going to join in. Make sure to take down all of Elevate there, so a little bit more control. But I got to say, so many teams up to the north. We still have Lego, Your Ego, Simplicity, and Ghost all encroaching in the same spot. Player One Esports is going to have to push back over next to Vicious Gaming towards the south. So 5 teams alive, 19 people, all things considered. And look,
headhunting right now.
He's got to be careful here, though. The rest of his team isn't there to support him, so you don't want to take the shots and then get turned on really quick. So the rest of the squad still trying to make their way into circle.
I think that Drassel has actually spotted out a crate, and he was thinking about going for it as well. It's just to the south of them. So, Lego Your Ego, not necessarily being the most aggressive at this stage. Simplicity, never one to shy from a fight. Looks like they might be thinking about going on the back flank onto them. So with this, Ghost is slowly hurting everybody from Simplicity back up on that angle, and that's a nice shot coming through from this. A lot of damage coming through, and look at this. Check Shooter still having to defend on this other angle, so that's going to be one member of Lego Your Ego down. Going to step back up, hit the spray, but not going to be enough. We got Wooly also going down inside of this now. Pintalol all by his lonesome. Ghost is back behind this still. Pintalol slowly creeping up. Gonna connect with the shots with that and should be able to at least get one of these reses. But look, Ghost is not gonna relent. Gonna run back over here and he's like, hey, well, okay, I'll maybe.
He took a little too much damage. I was worried about the split from Ghost, but Simplicity going right at Lego Your Ego. That was a very nice push. They picked up a bunch of kills, and now it's a snowball.
Work with. Now it's all going to come down to the circle, right? Because Ghost has this great ridgeline, this great high ground to work with. Simplicity, Wooly's gone down. Penelo, the last one up, alive right now.
He's actually been down this whole time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, for Wooly, he's like, Penta, please, we're friends. And then finally the res will come, as I'm not sure if Penta just had to go. You know how it is when all the teammates are dead and everyone's down. Like, hold on, I got to loot real quick.
I mean, there was a lot of corpses over there.
Just want to make sure there's no snakes that are going to come bite you in the butt. And, you know, it happens. It happens all the time.
Ghost is set up very well here. I mean, they had a same position that Cloud9 had in the first game. They've got great map control. They've got elevation. Player One Esports across the way, and they've got poor Simplicity, who's kind of rocking a hard place right now.
Look at that ravine kind of right in between. We got Player One Esports on one side, Ghost on the other. We still have a couple of circles that we're going to have to contend with. Ghost is looking back over.
Gonna be so bad.
Hey,
there you go. All right, Ghost.
So I think it's going to come down. Can Simplicity inflict enough damage onto Ghost to somehow allow Player One Esports to come through on this? Or will Player One Esports distract Ghost enough? Really, Ghost has all the control points to play with.
I hope that Balak's secondary is not an AK right now. He's only got a couple of shots left in the old M24. Regardless, Balak and the rest of Ghost, this is a game you must win.
Yeah, there's simply no excuse for losing this at this point if you're Ghost, but they are doing everything that they need to do. I mean, obviously sitting a little bit low on 7.62 or the boys is Frolicker, also only 21 rounds for his bolt action. Now Simplicity has to make their way in. I like the way that Ghost is spread across this. They have multiple angles of fire, finding all the information, but it'd be really easy for Simplicity to just sneak in there and maybe take out one of Ghost's.
Ghost is getting a lot of control over this area.
All right.
Run, it looks like Aguila's just like, okay, well, we don't have anything we can do. We're just going to run back over onto this. The downside of that is, guess what? Simplicity is waiting for you, Aguila. Now where are you going to go? Catching a little bit of air on that back rock. Going to try to jump out and use the car for cover, but Pintalol is not going to let it happen. That's going to be potentially a 12th kill coming up for Simplicity.
Yeah, that was the last bullet in the spray there for Penta, and yes, Player One Esports, this is not an easy crossing, and they're going to get punished for it. What little utility they have left is going to be used just to get out of their compound, the vehicle press. Now, it was bold, but for D-Treats and David, it's rough going right now.
I mean, they're using whatever utility they have, just like we were talking about Moses. Bullet's going to connect. Pentalol hits a nice shot onto this. Ghost McCoy is just going to mop up the kill, it looks like, though. So with this, it's going to come down to a potential 2v4. Simplicity managed to pick up the kills, but here we go. Here comes the
go. And that's what they did. They got this last circle. Player One Esports, I think, was a shining example.
Has begun. Free money. We have a tournament, best of one on Arangel for money.
Yikes. Guys, बहुत ही टट्टी इंटरनेट है टेस्ट में. My internet is so fucked up. लेकिन इधर 5-10 मिनट में 4 बार आई यार कही है। 4 से नहीं, 4 से ज़्यादा ही हो गया। 4 से 5 बार। क्या करूँ इस इंटरनेट का, नो आइडिया। स्पीड टेस्ट में भी क्या चल रहा है देखना पड़ेगा। लेकिन इस लेवल का व्हाट द फक। ओह मेरी स्पीड गई हुई है एक्चुअली। आई एम गेटिंग 3 Mbps right now. Wow. 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 Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hmm. यार इस लेवल का इंटरनेट चल रहा है। आई डोंट नो मेरी पिंग कितनी आएगी। और गोपाल,
साले मेरे आज अपलोड स्पीड नहीं आ रही है तो
अरे
स्ट्रीम
मेरा
नहीं
खुद का डाउनलोड स्पीड नहीं ज़्यादा नहीं आ रहा। मेरा रेट 3 से 4 बार किया है।
स्ट्रीम भी नहीं कर सक रहा हूँ मैं। सही
मेरा भी
बता
कुछ गड़बड़ है।
साला आज वो जो हुआ ना नेटवर्क लैग, कभी भूलूंगा नहीं जितना।
मेरे साथ तो उसके पहले ही हो रहा था नेटवर्क लैग। वो उसी से हुआ था, पता है। अब समझ में आ रहा है मेरे को।
आप पोस्ट
मैं
करो ना
पूरा स्प्रे
रेडिट
में लेता भाई।